Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, one of you in the comments of a few videos ago, I can't speak well. One of you in the comments of a video I did a few days ago asked me to watch a Westminster Abbey video, which I'll gladly do, and you recommended this channel, Tours by Foot London. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's learn. Let's watch. I'm starting it here. This is where the Westminster Abbey part starts. But maybe in the future I'll watch, one of these earlier sections. And maybe in this video I'll go past the Westminster Abbey section. Maybe not. We're going to cross that bridge when we get there. We're winging it. Let's go.
All his glory. They are replacing all the clock faces of Big Ben. But our next stop today is Westminster Abbey. The Minster in the West. Minster is the former name for an abbey, so the Westminster in the west of London. Just bear with us, folks.
I already learned something.
King William the Conqueror of England, I think we're okay, rode his horse up the aisle of Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day, 1066. On that day, he declared himself King of England.
Sorry, but I definitely would have looked the wrong way and then gotten hit by a car like a moron.
Ever since, every king and queen in British history, with the exception of only two, have all been crowned inside in the incredible Westminster Abbey. Attached to Westminster Abbey is one of the most prestigious public schools in this country. It's called Westminster School. Now, to confuse you further, public in this country is private. The state schools are the public schools. So state and public is public and private. Confused yet? I certainly am.
Why would you call a private school public? I've heard this before, but I get it that a state school is our version of a public school. But why are you...
It's completely different in Ireland, where I'm from. However, very, very prestigious alumni in the former Westminster School, in the form of A.A. Milne, the author of Winnie the Pooh, Sir Christopher Wren, the architect, widely regarded to be the Leonardo da Vinci of London, building 51 churches here in London, particularly in the city. Again, you'll see more on that in our City of London tour. And also Dido, the famous American female singer, when they took a
white flag and surrender
to the school. Now, traditionally it was a boarding school, but they now accept day release pupils as well.
That was a throwback.
Rather bizarre for any of my Irish viewers, Shane MacGowan, the lead singer of the Pogues, also attended. That was a scholarship. Regretfully, Shane didn't last very long.
Is Shane an Irish name?
6 months before he was expelled. Very surprised he lasted that length of time. So Westminster School is the first view you'll see here. Now the sun is slightly in our way. Please forgive us. We'll just head a little bit closer to Westminster. Here's the school, and of course, the Abbey.
I like your confidence. It makes me feel comfortable. Oh my god, beautiful. Video?
Okay, so there's been a site of Christian worship.
What I would do to just go back in time, not live there, but just like a ghost look at old buildings like this being built prior to more modern cranes and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I would do anything.
Site for over 1,000.
I need to shut up.
Okay, so there's been a site of Christian worship on this site for over 1,000 years. As previously mentioned, King William the Conqueror of England, he rode his horse up the aisle of Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day, 1066. On that day, he declared himself King of England. And ever since, every king and queen in British history, with the exception of only two, have all been crowned inside in Westminster Abbey, including Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in 1953. She became Queen in 1952, but a year later was when she was crowned here in Westminster Abbey. Lady Diana's very somber funeral.
That's when I think Eisenhower was in office. Jesus Christ.
Took place in Westminster Abbey. Lady Diana's very somber funeral took place in here. Thousands of people lined the streets mourning the death of Lady Diana. Kate married William in here. That morning, we all stood here with bated breath, waiting for her to come out of the incredible Bentley and to see that magnificent Alexander McQueen creation by Sarah Burton. Mary, Queen of Scots, Queen Elizabeth I, Newton, Purcell, Darwin, Dickens, Chaucer, Henry, Hardy, Pitt the Elder, Pitt the Younger, Browning, Tennyson, to mention only a few of over 3,000 of the most influential people, all buried inside in Westminster Abbey.
Really?
An incredible place to visit when you do arrive, and tickets will be available here at the Abbey itself. Now, obviously, very quiet at the moment, which is good for you guys, because you get to see London in all its splendour without the crowds of people. But again, when you're with us on Free Tours by Foot London here on our Westminster tour, we will be able to give you the best times to visit the Abbey and the best ways to get your tickets. Again, another lesser-known church in the area. Apologies, just waiting for a little bit of the traffic to pass, is St. Margaret's Church. Now, lesser-known church, but again, no less important.
I'll go. I still want to watch, so we're gonna go a bit further.
St. Margaret's
if you want, of course.
Church is the Church of Parliament Square and the politicians' church. And Lord, don't they need prayers, ladies and gents. In this very church is where Winston Churchill married his beloved Clementine in here. Samuel Pepys was married here. Sir Walter Raleigh is buried in sight in that very building, as is William Caxton, the inventor, of course, of the printing press. Beautiful little church, free of charge.
Wait, I thought that was Gutenberg.
The inventor in sight in that very building, as is William Caxton, the inventor, of course, of the printing press.
Oh, introduced it to England. Okay.
Beautiful little church, free of charge, and lovely to have a little wander inside. You are welcome to attend any of the church services in this country, by the way. There is one particular service that is of amazing interest to everybody, and that is called Evensong. And it takes place here at Westminster Abbey, but also in St. Paul's Cathedral. And the St. Paul's Choir and Westminster Boys Choir do perform. So it's about a 45-minute prayer service. There usually is a little queue for it, but it's incredible to experience the Abbey in all its glory and the beautiful voices of the choir. Now, I want to try to give you the best views here of the Houses of Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, we just head down here. I want to show you the Victoria Tower. Now, this is the tallest square Gothic building in Europe. Home actually to all the parliamentary records dating all the way back to the Magna Carta. Now, the Victoria Tower was named after Queen Victoria in her Diamond Jubilee, 60 years on the throne. We had one other queen who reached, of course, the Diamond Jubilee.
My favorite monarch.
The present queen, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Well, now past queen. But I say it's my favorite monarch. She's my favorite monarch, as if I know a lot about her. I don't. But that's just my favorite period in English history that I love thinking about. There's something to do with the 18th century London that I imagine the Christmas Carol, you know, Charles Dickens. And in every iteration of the Christmas Carol, I love the vibes, and 90% of the vibes just have to do with the place that is portrayed as the setting of the Christmas Carol, which I believe is London. I know it's England. And I know there are a lot of bad stuff about that time period, but I've just always looked at it fondly and in a romantic way.
Second, King George III came close, but bless him, he acquired the rather unfortunate nickname of Mad King George III of England. He suffered from a liver disease called protheria. It eventually affected his brain, and he became so mentally incapacitated he couldn't perform his duties as king. So the reign went over to the
He's
Prince
famous over
Regent,
here.
was his son, and he took over in everything but name. But anyway, I'm sidetracking a little bit. The Victoria Tower is home to the exclusive entrance of the Queen. You'll see the arched entrance there. And she'll enter through once a year. And she'll come dressed in the crown jewels, and she'll come to officially open the Houses of Parliament. These are the House of Lords and the House of Commons, the governing body here in Great Britain. Now, the building, ladies, she'll come to officially open the Houses of Parliament. These are the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
Same building?
The governing body here in Great Britain. Now, the building, ladies and gents, is 158 years old or so. 1843. Not the original building.
Old for
the
us,
first Houses of
not for
Parliament
you.
burned to the ground in a destructive fire. So this was rebuilt. It was known as the Palace of Westminster in 1843. And the building was Augustus Pugin and Charles Barry. Augustus Pugin is said to have put so much of his headspace and life's work into the rebuilding of the palace, he himself ended up going absolutely mad, completely and utterly insane. But one part of the building did survive, and this, ladies and gents, is Westminster Hall, the oldest part of the Palace of Westminster. In that very building is where King Charles I of England, the only British king in history to be publicly executed by that man, Oliver Cromwell, was condemned to death by Oliver Cromwell.
Wow.
Inside in that very building.
What's that movie? I think the guy... Oh, no. Is it just Cromwell? I'm confusing it with a Henry VIII movie. What's his name? Marley? Mari? The guy with the thing in the place. He had
In that very
Mosley, Marvely.
building is
I don't
where
know.
Guy Fawkes of the Gunpowder Plot assassination attempt was also condemned to death in that building. In that very building, ladies and gentlemen, William Wallace, of Braveheart fame,
I see. I won't do
was
it.
also condemned to death inside that very building. Incredible history. Centuries and centuries and centuries of history in one immediate area. Now, under construction...
So I'm going to stop it here, okay? If this wasn't the video you were talking about, I know it was just a very quick walk by and a few words about Westminster Abbey. I'm going to upload it anyway because I enjoyed that and I learned some things. But if there is another video that's more in depth about Westminster Abbey, I'll see if it's on the channel and I'll give it a watch, all right? Love you all. Would appreciate any comments down below. And as always, hopefully I'll see you guys next time, all right? Bye, guys.